On July 4th, 1776, 56 founding fathers came together and they produced the Declaration of Independence. The 13 states at the time had been at war with the Kingdom of Great Britain for about a year. And it was finally the moment where these 56 founding fathers and their 13 states announced their own sovereignty. They no longer were going to put up with the onerous rule of the Kingdom of Great Britain. If we take a look at the Declaration of Independence, what we can see is that Bitcoin is essentially the modern-day Declaration of Independence. Now let's first take a look at the existing document to understand how Bitcoin overlays with it. First, you have the introduction, and in the introduction, there's an assertion that natural law gives the ability of people to assume political independence. They specifically state that it becomes necessary for one person to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. And then in the preamble, we get the meat of the argument, which is that the founding fathers hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. And then the founding fathers went on to a section of indictment, and they lay out point by point all of their grievances with the Kingdom of Great Britain. In it, they hold back no punches. They simply state over and over again, this is what you have done, and this is why we can no longer take it. Lastly, those 56 founding fathers come together and they issue this conclusion. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Now, of course, when I make the claim that Bitcoin is the modern-day Declaration of Independence, you have to understand what the Declaration of Independence was doing. Bitcoin is a database of code, and it allows for any person to opt in to new monetary sovereignty. What it means is if you don't consent to the previous regime of governance, where a central bank can debase your currency unilaterally without your agreement, there's a lot of people who think that Bitcoin is the peaceful resistance to that lack of true agreeable governance. And so naturally, Bitcoin, when it was launched on January 3rd, 2009, marked the start of a new monetary regime. It has a programmatic monetary policy. It's transparently presented for anyone to audit at any time. If you are an individual anywhere in the world, regardless of sex, creed, gender, wealth, or status, you can opt in to a brand new monetary regime. You don't have to do it with 100% of your economic value, but you now have a path that allows you to conduct some sort of protection of your own assets. The United States of America and the private property rights of its citizens makes it one of the greatest countries in the world. Now Bitcoin is exporting these American ethos to people around the world and allowing them to have actual private property of their monetary assets, allowing them to peacefully resist against the debasement of their currency. We are living in a time of historic inflation, both in the United States of America and other countries around the globe. And in each one of these regions, previously, people either had to become investors or they simply had to have their economic value and their wealth debased away. Today, Bitcoin provides a different path. It allows for anyone to opt in and to participate in a brand new Declaration of Independence. Bitcoin is a technological solution that exports the American ethos to billions of humans globally. Ultimately, Bitcoin and the launch of this asset, going all the way back to January 3rd, 2009, when it's all said and done, hundreds of years from now, I think people will look back and they will say that Bitcoin was the modern day Declaration of Independence. Not independence from governments, not independence from other rulers, simply monetary independence that allowed people to return to a life of simply saving, spending less than they make, and being able to choose some level of economic freedom. As the Declaration of Independence back in July 4th of 1776 promised, every human should have the right to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. Bitcoin is helping to return a little bit of that dream to billions and billions of people. And every single individual of the 100+ million who have adopted this asset slowly but surely begin to realize they come for the money, but they stay for the money. And if we can fix the money, there's a lot of people who think that we can fix the world.